We're still following the aftermath of the Manchester attack. An off-duty policewoman has been confirmed as one of the victims. Several arrests have been made. Police say 3 of the arrests have been made in South Manchester as part of a probe into the attack that killed at least 22 people. Earlier on Wednesday, Home Secretary Ember Rudd said the attacker, Salman Abedi, may have not acted alone. Police are investigating a possible network. Authorities say the 22-year-old was born in Manchester to Libyan immigrants. It's believed he had recently returned from Libya. French authorities say he had links with the Islamic State and possibly travelled to Syria. The government has increased the military presence at key sites such as Buckingham Palace and Downing Street to boost security. And let's get you the latest on that. I'm joined live from Manchester by our correspondent Richard Bestick. Richard, what's the latest coming out of there?
Beatrice, within the last hour, police have arrested a 5th individual in Wigan, about 26 miles from here. That arrest coming after a series of raids right across the region throughout the week. Among those arrested, the Manchester bomber's older brother, Ismail Abedi, among those in British police custody. Earlier, the Reuters news agency was reporting that the suicide bomber's younger brother has been arrested in Libya, apparently on charges of association with the terrorist body ISIL. So now both the bomber's brothers are under arrest and in police custody. At the same time, the government has stepped up security in the UK with troops being deployed in Downing Street, the very heart of British government, and at Parliament. The military will also be taking up positions at other high-profile potential targets, including Buckingham Palace, the home of the British monarch, Queen Elizabeth. And a target, the building, a target for millions of tourists. The idea behind it, Beatrice, to free up police officers for other work, pursuing those who may have had a link to the Manchester bomber and may have plans to repeat the outrage. Beatrice.
Well, Richard, we do understand, though, that the Manchester bomber was known by security services and that he's reportedly been travelling in and out of the United Kingdom. So exactly how did he manage that?
Well, Home Secretary Ember Rudd has said, you're right, he's been on the security radar, adding up to a point, and she didn't clarify what she meant by that. But we now know that the bomber had recently returned from Libya. The question is whether he learned bomb-making skills there or whether he was simply a mule carrying that murderous bomb to the Manchester arena and being responsible for the carnage as a consequence. We probably shouldn't overstate his significance to the security services. MI5 has put out one figure suggesting there are something in the region of 3,000 people, persons of interest they call them, in the UK. A number that would be impossible to monitor at a detailed level in a free society. As to how he managed to return to Libya, well, he was born in Manchester, but he does have Libyan roots. His parents are from Libya. They came over here for refuge during the Gaddafi period and they took up residence here. So whether he had dual nationality or not, he would have been free to travel between the two countries if he wasn't undertaking any illegal activities. But you're right in so much as those are questions that will be asked very much at a later date.
And of course, Richard, it's been a terrible shock over there. Can you tell us more about just how the people of Manchester have been reacting in the aftermath of this attack?
Yeah, Beatrice, Manchester is in recovery mode. I'm in St Anne's Square in the heart of Manchester. It's effectively become a shrine to those who lost their lives. You can see the crowds here. A great mountain of flowers are behind them. You can't see them at the moment, but a great mountain of flowers have been laid in tribute for the 22 dead. Another 20 are still in hospital being treated for critical injuries. some terribly sad stories continue to come out. The Chief Constable of Manchester, Ian Tompkinson, has confirmed this afternoon that one of the victims was an off-duty police officer. Her husband and her daughter were critically injured. Another desperately sad tale of a family torn apart on a family night out. There are plans for further vigils in Manchester. Thousands turned out last night. It is helping the mending process, the grieving process. And as you can see there from the flowers, there's still Beatrice a long way to go.
All right, Richard Bestic for us there in Manchester.